Okay, hello. Welcome, Hannah. This is Hannah O'Toole, who's joining us today to discuss her use of Cadenza and specifically her use of the media annotator with her studio. Welcome, Hannah.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. I wonder if you could just start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Hannah O'Toole. I have been teaching music since 2008. Initially, I trained as a classroom music teacher at secondary and primary level in the UK. I'm based in the Cotswolds and I have a studio of about 40 pupils. But when I say it's a studio, I'm teaching mostly in a school setting. Across two different schools. And I do have a couple of private students as well. So at the moment, it's a mixture of online and socially distanced lessons with all the COVID precautions in place.
Oh, that's great. Yes, here in Ontario, we're back in lockdown again. So, yeah. Oh, that's great that you're able to do the hybrid style lessons as well. I know how you came across Cadenza, but I wonder if you could share with our listeners how you came across Cadenza.
Absolutely. I first met Dr. Rina Eupatis in Ireland in 2017. She was on a visit with my colleague and the co-director of the Curious Piano Teachers, Sharon Mark Taggart, and we were having a gorgeous day at Powers Court, which is this beautiful stately home in Ireland with lots of tea and cake. And I met Rena then. She was talking about cadenza back in 2017. So I first heard about it, and then obviously through being a member of the Curious Piano Teachers and subsequently community manager, which is my role now.
That's great. And we love our partnership with the Curious Piano Teachers. We have a lot of users out there from the Curious Piano Teaching Group, which you can find by Googling them or go right to their website. And what is the URL for the website, Hannah?
So we are thecuriouspianoteachers.org, and currently we have a free month as well that people
Oh,
can try out our membership.
I highly recommend it. That's great. So you heard about it in 2017. How long have you actually used Cadenza? When did you decide to incorporate it, and what was your process getting started?
Well, it's really interesting because I'd been looking at starting to use cadenza with my students before the COVID-19 pandemic hit. But as soon as that happened, I became a member of Cadenza. I joined Cadenza around about March 2020 when I saw that it was going to be essential for taking my studio and my teaching online. It's honestly been I don't know if I could have done this year without it. Because it's just meant that everything is in one place. The students can see what their tasks are very, very clearly. I love the ability to screen share it in lessons on Zoom, just so that they're really clear about what they're doing and they can see the tasks and they can have ownership over it as well. They can have ownership over the tasks in the lesson. You can say to them, do we think this is finished? Do you want to keep this task in? And they get some choice over it as well. So yeah, I found it really helpful. And I also think it's been really helpful to be able to look back over the past year and see the progress that's been made by the pupils. So just going back, preparing for this interview and having a look at some of the recordings from earlier back and thinking, wow, I can see the progress. It's really exciting. Just have that record is really nice.
Oh, that's great, and it's actually, I think, great to have the students do that as well. That's part of their reflection is like looking in
Sure.
the mirror and growing. We never actually see it, right? So it's a
That's
great
right.
great thing to look back. That's great. And I think that in the typical studio of students using Cadenza, not every student totally buys in. I'm wondering how many of your students are using it, or maybe all of your students are.
I'm using it for all of them, and so I haven't actually gone back to paper notebooks at the moment because I find that it's so much more interactive and it allows me to do things like post my own video clips of things that I want to show them. For example, this week I've been working on improvising with the whole tone scale with the pupil, and I've just done a video at home on the overhead camera just so that she can see what notes to use and how to do it. So I use it for my own purposes, really like that, and so I've stuck with it. Yeah. So I love the fact that it's really interactive, that I can use different media and I can send different media home, explanatory videos. And so in terms of it, how many of my students are using it regularly, I would say there's a good number of students who are using it regularly. And I think the important thing to say is that the ones that do really see the progress, the ones that are heavily engaged and recording their practices and engaging with me in the comments, they are the ones who are seeing the progress, the most progress, actually.
With no surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have an expectation, actually, in that I check Cadenza every Sunday evening. That's my planning routine for my week. So I like to sit down on a Sunday evening and plan my teaching for the week. And my students know that I do this. And there's always that option for them to upload a video by, I say, 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. If they want me to look at something specific, they don't have to, but they can. And it's really quite fun to see what they do send me sometimes. So I often leave a space for their own compositions, their own improvisations as well. And I've really just been delighted to see what they've produced, actually, sometimes when I haven't expected it. So, and then also if they're working on something particular that yes, we are working towards an exam, or we're preparing a recital and we're comparing takes, then there is more of an expectation that they must upload something. But they know that that's when I do it, and they know, and it's always there for them to be able to do it, and it's helpful for all
Wonderful
of us,
routine. Mm-hmm. I think that's a wonderful segue into sharing some of your examples with us. So Hannah has prepared some little videos to show how she's used the Media Annotator with different age groups. So I'll just hand it over to you.
Sure, I'll have a look. So the first clip that I would like to share is my student Emily, who loves to compose her own pieces. So Emily is 7 now. I think she's aged 6 to 7. So if I can just share this, hopefully that's coming through okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is just some comments that I've put on a recent composition that Emily's produced.
This is a lemur sitting in a tree, having lots of fun in the brightest sun.
So that's Emily's song about a lemur. She absolutely adores lemurs, and we're learning from Piano Safari as well. So I think the score that she's produced here really looks just like a page from her method book. So I think it's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that's Emily, and it's nice to be able to give her some feedback and some encouragement, actually, when she's produced something like that. Look what I've made, and it's just so beautiful. So
You can see it in the smile. Yeah.
absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. And then I've got a slightly older student, Sydney, who also loves composing. And this is from last summer, so probably June. And we were exploring. She loves to write her own songs, and she decided that she would send me one. And I think this is the thing with Cadenza. I always leave a purple composing task there. Even if we don't explicitly do composing that lesson, it's always there. So they've got somewhere that they know it's okay for them to upload their own material. So here is Sydney with one of her songs.
Hello, Mrs. O'Toole. I'm going to be playing another song that I've made up. And I've got it all written down in my book here. I'm not quite done with it yet, but I'm thinking of loads of things that I can add on to it. But I hope you like it, and here it is so far. you liked it. Bye.
So great.
So that was a lot of fun. It's so fun to receive that. And I think the thing that I like about the Media Annotator is that it allowed me to give her specific praise and for her to match my technical words with the moment in the music that it happens. So she's learning. So I say, oh, this is a really catchy riff, and you moved octave. I think I possibly mistimed the comment slightly in the video, but the fact that she's got the vocabulary at the moment in the music that she's doing something interesting, and I'm giving her the language to explain it. I think it is such a useful tool. So
That was great.
yeah, so that's Sydney. And then with two of my more advanced students who are preparing for UK grade 8, I have also used Cadenza extensively to help them with their recitals. For this particular exam, they have to perform 4 pieces in a continuous take. So actually Cadenza has been really good training. It's almost like training for a marathon, because we start off, record the first one, record the 2 together, record the 3 in a row, and then record the 4 in a row. And then, you know, in terms of helping me choose between the best take and you know, and advising them, it's good. So
I find
yeah.
the students, when
So-
they have to do the continuous take, they don't anticipate how difficult that is. I mean, that is really, really, really a
really
chore. With the Royal Conservatory, I had a grade 9 student just go through. They actually have to do all 6 pieces in one take, and it's a lot. So it was invaluable
It
to
is.
us too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think being able to pinpoint certain bars and give them a focused list for practice, that's where it's come into its own, I think. So I'll just share a little bit, not all of this. And this is from a little while ago now. So this is James working towards UK grade 8. So, okay, so hopefully you can see that. And I think that's him in the early days of learning this piece, and it's probably important to say that he's now passed that exam with flying colours, and that is quite a long way. If he were to watch that back now, I think he'd be amazed at how far he's come. So I think just pinpointing things has been so useful in that process. But you know, as I use the Media Annotator, I'm still thinking about ways in which I can be more curious as a teacher in how I present comments. So having this conversation with some of our curious piano teachers this morning in our community about how they're using the comments to give feedback, effective feedback to their pupils. So we know that as teachers, our students learn so much more when we don't tell them. And this has been a journey for me with Cadenza, and I've been much better at it in face-to-face lessons and in the live situation, but then translating that into giving written feedback as well. So we were having an interesting discussion about how to do that and how to keep fostering that in our written feedback this morning as well. So asking open questions on Cadenza, and you know, colleagues saying, I think it was Sharon that said, there's an issue in bar 8, you need to go back and watch it and find the issue, you know. So encouraging the students to find it for themselves and to self-reflect. And there's another clip I have, but which I'm not going to share today, but the student self-reflected on her take for the grade. I asked her to put her comments in, and she was able to go back, and it was simple enough for her to use. to put her own feedback on the take that she'd recorded.
That's excellent. And I noticed that in your comments you were asking questions, and that's time for the student to take that moment of reflection. And I know that's how Cadenza has changed my teaching as well, just adding that piece in. That's fantastic. Do you have any specific examples of a student where Cadenza, or maybe it's more than one student, it's made the difference?
I mean, I think with lockdown, it's made a huge difference. And I think with multiple students, the students certainly that have engaged with it, I think during the various lockdowns in the UK, just having that structure of their week, they've had the piano lesson with me, and that's been the structure that hasn't changed. And also they all had fixed times during lockdown as well, every week, which they wouldn't always have in school. So it's creating a bit of a structure of a week for them. So I think that's made a huge difference for them. And also knowing that I would like something by Sunday has given them something to work for and something to show me. I had another lovely student who I don't know if anyone's seen the Lego grand piano that you can build. There's this fantastic model of a grand piano, and I really want one, but she had one. She had one, and she used Cadenza to show me the progress of the build during lockdown, and to show me the finished thing, and she actually introduced it and did a little video. And I think they're learning so much more than just playing the piano. They're actually learning how to present themselves and how to share something that they're really interested in. So that was unexpected, but just really a fun thing that popped up in the media annotator as well. So it's brilliant.
Oh, I love it. I love hearing the different stories and how teachers and students are communicating on new and different and improved levels. I think it's wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just that I'm just so glad to have been able to use it, and the fact that I'm actually going to continue using it even though I'm now back in a socially distanced setting, because I can see the potential for continuing to have these kind of dialogues, and it's a place to put recordings, it's a place to record the journey that is so much more than a notebook, and it's more interactive. They're able to write in it, they're able to have records of what they've done, and so am I as a teacher actually. And it also helps with my planning a great deal, just to have everything in one place and to be able to think, okay, so we've moved away from that piece for a while because you needed to during lockdown, because you needed something different. But I can still go back through the lessons and go, okay, that's where we were. That's the concept we were last looking at, and I can go back and easily find it. So I think it's brilliant. It's a great tool. So.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. As I said, I always love hearing these different experiences and having a little window into how other teachers are using Cadenza, managing their students, and engaging in wonderful pedagogy. So congratulations to you, and thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.